Well, good evening to all our viewers. It's always lovely to see all of you and to chat with you. And we here, the entire team at CNN News 18 is very excited as we bring to you a sort of a summary of what we could expect tomorrow at our first ever inaugural session of the CNN News 18 Town Hall. We also have CNN News 18's managing editor Zakka also with us. Zakka, it's always lovely, right? You've come post the pandemic, things haven't been easy. And the first ever town hall, the town hall is a platform like no others because you'll have the biggest policy leaders, you'll have the biggest leaders, conversations, stories also will be very, very important because all of these conversations and stories essentially will shape the next chapter as far as the India story is concerned. All of our viewers are very excited. They've been writing into us. Why don't you talk to our viewers about what this town hall is and what they can expect from the inaugural edition?
Well, thank you, Rizma, for having me. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're right. Over the last 2 years, we've not had any sort of, events or where multiple people come together in one forum. And I think, a lot of us have been sort of feeling a little claustrophobic because of that. So I think just now, when the cases are down and a large number of people are vaccinated and so on, I think we feel that this is the right time to try and open up and have events, have more, human interaction as you will, more physical interaction as you will, because all through the last couple of years, it's just been through Zoom calls or Teams or whatever, and it's not quite the same as actually meeting people in flesh and blood. So I think that's the whole idea behind starting the town hall right now. The town hall is a very simple concept. CNN, our sister company, they do the town hall, and it's a very, very simple concept. You get one celebrity or newsmaker, politician, minister, what have you, and there is one anchor person who asks some questions to that person, and then it's opened up to the town hall. So it's like what used to be in the olden days, literally like a town hall where ordinary people, citizens, can come in and question their elected representatives. So that is the format, and that's the thinking behind the town hall. And we are launching this tomorrow. Like you said, we have three very, very special guests to talk about 8 years of the completion of the Modi government. We have Dr. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister. We have Smriti Irani, the Women and Child Development Minister. And of course, we have Anurag Thakur, the Information and Broadcasting and Youth Affairs and Sports Minister, to be talking to us about these topics. But like I said, more than us asking them questions, it is about opening this up to the town hall, sort of asking people to ask questions, whatever is relevant, whatever is out there, those questions need to be asked. And I'm really, really excited and looking forward to the first and the inaugural edition of the CNN News 18 Town Hall.
Let's talk a little more about what is our first theme. And as you rightly pointed out, it is the 8 years of the Modi government, and thus you will have all these union ministers speaking about various sectors. And also comes at a very interesting right post-pandemic. There is an economy that's recovering, industries are opening up. Globally, India is now being seen as a country that doesn't shy away from calling a spade as a spade. Talk to us about the timing of when this town hall is happening and why is it so crucial?
So 8 years, I think, is a reasonable amount of time to judge a particular dispensation. And frankly, yes, since 2014, there's been not just a new dispensation here in Delhi, but I think a lot of things have changed. Whether it is the last mile delivery as far as governance is concerned, whether it's women as beneficiaries, and even as a vote bank, that has certainly changed. This whole objective of political appeasement, whether it is of one community or another, that also seems to have changed. And yet at the same time, we know there are challenges as well. There are large sections who are feeling alienated, as you're seeing in some of the protests that we're seeing across the country. So as much as there's been a paradigm shift in governance goals as well as achievements, there are also just as much challenges that need to be navigated. So I think the whole idea behind the theme of the 8 years of Modi government and how the governance paradigm has changed is to get these ministers and to talk to them and to question them and to ask them, what are the things that have changed in the last 8 years? How has governance changed? How has last mile delivery changed? How have priorities for the government itself changed? I mean, Swachh Bharat was something that, nobody talked about before 2014. Ayushman Bharat again, health insurance for poor folks was not talked about before 2014.
Yeah.
There are a lot many schemes and targeted incentives that were not talked about before these last 8 years. Are they working on the ground? Are they not working on the ground? If they are not working, then what more needs to be done? So I think the conversation is going to revolve around these sort of parameters. And one final word that you said about India's place in the world, just as these governance paradigms are changing, I think one very, very important aspect is also how India's place in the community of nations is also changing. India is today a big power. People are listening to India. People are paying attention to India's position on many issues, whether it's the Russia-Ukraine war, whether it is the Indo-Pacific. These may not be issues that directly or indirectly concern us, but India's view matters. So that's why I think the views of Dr. Jaishankar, Smriti Irani, Anurag Thakur will be important to not just outline how things have changed in the last 8 years, but what's the road ahead and what are the challenges in last mile delivery and last mile efficiency, as it were, for the government and for the people.
Absolutely, no denying the fact that India today is, of course, a friend and an ally to many, but also a voice of reason when many are now turning to India to see what the next chapter could look like. But more importantly, Zakka, I want to go back and talk about why the entire concept of a town hall makes it so interactive and what's in it for the audience and viewers at large. Just at the venue itself, the audience also will have an opportunity to interact with these ministers. And how many times can you really take up your questions directly one-on-one with the ministers? That also makes it a one-of-a-kind platform to have these issues being addressed one-on-one by the ministers themselves.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the novelty of the town hall format, where it's not just an anchor or a journalist or an interviewer who's asking questions to the newsmaker or the personality who's come on the show, but it's the audience at large. And I think that's why the town hall format resonates with people. So I think the idea of the town hall is to open it up to the audience, get them to ask freewheeling questions to these newsmakers and let them answer those questions. And I think thereby you're also bridging a sense of, I wouldn't say divide, but a sense of distance, if you will, between the powers that be and the people at large. And I think you're trying to bridge that gap when you're having ordinary folks ask their questions. So it's not just going to be about, the politics of it or the strategic importance of it, or who benefits and who doesn't. But it could also be even lighter questions. There could be questions, for example, just think of an example to Smriti Irani about her life beyond politics, or to Dr. Jaishankar about, he was a career bureaucrat. How did life change when he, sat in the hot seat and became on the other side, as it were, became a minister, calling the shots, as it were. So there could be lighter questions as well. But I think the inherent idea of the town hall is to try and allow the audience there. And by the way, it's not just the live audience who will get to ask questions. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, any social media, or on news18.com, you can just go there. There's a microsite on the page. You can go to Twitter. You can go to our Twitter handle. There is again a Twitter poll that's out. You can paste your questions there, and rest assured, we will ask those questions to the newspapers tomorrow evening at the CNN News18 Town Hall.
Absolutely. So the countdown has begun as far as the inaugural session of the CNN News 18 Town Hall is concerned. As Zakka was rightly pointing out, you can write into us on all our social media platforms, whether it's Twitter or Facebook. We have a hashtag CNN News 18 Town Hall. Please use that. We'd love to hear from you, your question, your queries. You can watch it to us on our broadcast platforms and also our social media platforms. Zakka, anything else that you would like to tell our viewers before we go and prepare for the big day?
Like I said, I mean, life as we knew it changed in the last couple of years. And I think there is inherently in all of us, there is a desire to have some amount of human interaction. Like I said, meet people in flesh and blood. And that's not happened in the last couple of years. So I think the CNN News 18 Town Hall is a small step towards that direction, that, let's go back to a semblance of normalcy. Let's have social interactions. Let's have conversations. Let's have question and answer sessions, as it were. And let's really sort of break down some of these barriers and walls that we have so that we get to know each other a little more better. And I think that's the idea of the town hall. Like I said, the inaugural edition is happening in Delhi tomorrow, but we hope to, at some point in the future, in the next few months, hopefully, we should be able to take this out into some of the cities, to Bangalore and Chennai and Mumbai and so on. And I think, I look forward to meeting all our viewers, our well-wishers, people who have backed CNN News 18 over these last many years. Yesterday, I was interviewing with one of the trade magazines, and I told them, the last couple of years has been like literally baptism by fire for our young team. So all of these, whether it's the leadership ratings, whether it is the town hall, these are all affirmations for this young team that look, you're doing a good job. Just continue to be on that path. And I think I look forward to the town hall immensely tomorrow with Dr. Jaishankar, Smriti, Irani, and Anurag Thakur. And I look forward to meeting the live audience tomorrow so that we can have some semblance of normalcy as it used to exist pre-2020, pre the pandemic, so that some of those human interactions can be revived. Because really, that is the need of the hour as well.
Absolutely, and we're nothing without the support of our viewers. We'd like to thank them once again, and I'd like to remind all of you the countdown has begun. 4 p.m. onwards tomorrow is the inaugural session of CNN News 18's first town hall, and we hope to see you in many other locations very soon. So do join us, whether watch us, on TV or join us in that conversation online. We'll see all of you tomorrow.